Alien fights start. The big room was quiet. Tall aliens from all over space sat around a round table. They looked different. Some had blue skin, others had long necks, and a few even had 3 eyes. This was the Galactic Council, the group that ran things in space. Zork, the leader, stood up. He had green scales and 4 arms. "Friends," he said, "we have a problem." His voice was deep and scary. The other aliens looked at him. They knew something was wrong. Zork never called a meeting unless it was really important. "Our peace is ending," Zork said. He pushed a button, and a big screen lit up. It showed a map of space with lots of little lights. "See these lights? They're ships, warships, moving to fight." The room got noisy. Aliens started talking all at once. Some sounded angry, others scared. Blorp, a blue blob alien, spoke up. "Who's fighting who, and why?" Zork sighed. "It's not that simple, Blorp. Many groups are picking sides. The Zorgans hate the Flibbers. The Quexians don't like the Zorgans or the Flibbers. And the Neebs? They just want to fight everyone." More aliens started shouting. Some stood up, waving their arms or tentacles. "Quiet," Zork yelled. The room went silent again. "We need to stop this. If we don't, the whole galaxy will be at war." But it was too late. As they watched, the little lights on the screen started moving faster. Some of them blinked out. That meant ships were being destroyed. "It started," Zork said sadly. "The war has begun." Far away from the Galactic Council, ships were indeed fighting. Laser beams shot across the black of space. Explosions lit up the darkness like fireworks. On one ship, Captain Exer of the Zorgan fleet was yelling orders. "Fire everything. Don't let the Flibbers get away." His ship, big and shaped like a knife, chased after smaller, rounder ships. The smaller ships belonged to the Flibbers. Inside one of the Flibber ships, things were bad. Smoke filled the air. Alarms were ringing. The captain, a small alien named Pip, was trying to keep everyone calm. "We can make it," Pip shouted. "Just a little further to the jump point." The jump point was a special place in space. If they could get there, they could escape to safety. But the Zorgans were catching up. Their big ships fired again and again. The Flibber ships shook with each hit. Back in the council room, Zork and the others could only watch. The screen showed more and more fights breaking out all over the galaxy. "We have to do something," said Blorp. "Can't we talk to them?" Zork shook his head. "We tried. They won't listen. They're too angry, too scared. Each side thinks the others want to hurt them." Another alien, tall and thin like a tree, spoke up. "What about the peacekeepers? Can't they stop this?" The peacekeepers were the Galactic Council's police. They were supposed to stop fights like this. "The peacekeepers are trying," Zork said. "But there are too many fights. They can't be everywhere at once." As they talked, more lights on the screen blinked out. More ships destroyed. More lives lost. Zork looked tired. He had been in charge of the council for a long time. He had seen fights before, but never like this. Never so big, so angry. "We need help," he said quietly. "But who can help us now?" The other aliens looked at each other. No one had an answer. Far away from the council, far from the fighting, there was a small blue planet. The aliens called it dirt. We call it Earth. On Earth, people were going about their day. They went to work, to school, to the store. They had no idea what was happening out in space. They didn't know about the Galactic Council. They didn't know about the war that had just started. They thought they were alone in the universe. But they weren't alone. And soon, very soon, they would find out just how big and scary the universe really was. As night fell on Earth, people looked up at the stars. They saw tiny points of light and thought how peaceful space looked. They had no idea that those peaceful-looking stars were hiding a terrible secret. They didn't know that around those stars, aliens were fighting and dying. They didn't know that far away, in a room full of strange creatures, someone was thinking about Earth, thinking that maybe, just maybe, the creatures on the little blue planet called Dirt might be able to help. In the council room, Zork looked at the map again. He saw the fighting spreading, getting worse. Then his eyes fell on a small blue dot at the edge of the map, a planet no one had paid much attention to before. Maybe, he said softly, it's time we introduced ourselves to the Earthlings. The other aliens looked at him in surprise. Earth. That primitive planet. What could they do? But Zork had a feeling. Sometimes, help comes from the most unexpected places. And right now, they needed all the help they could get. As the Galactic Council argued about what to do, as alien ships fought in the darkness of space, Earth kept spinning. Its people went to sleep, unaware that their lives were about to change forever. The stars twinkled in the night sky. But now, those twinkling lights didn't look so peaceful anymore. Now, they looked like a warning, a sign of the big changes coming. The alien fights had started. And soon, whether they liked it or not, humans would be part of it too. Humans find out by accident. It was a normal day at NASA. Scientists and engineers were busy working on their computers, looking at data from space. They were watching a probe called Deep Space Explorer 9, or DSE-9 for short. DSE-9 was far out in space, farther than any human-made thing had ever gone before. It was looking for new planets and stars. The NASA team was excited to see what it might find. Sarah, one of the younger scientists, was watching the data come in. She sipped her coffee and yawned. It had been a long night, and nothing exciting had happened yet. Suddenly, her screen lit up with new information. Sarah sat up straight, her eyes wide. Guys," she called out. "You might want to see this." Her boss, Dr. Johnson, walked over. He was an older man with gray hair and glasses. "What is it, Sarah?" he asked. Sarah pointed at her screen. DSE-9 is picking up some strange signals. I've never seen anything like this before. Dr. Johnson leaned in for a closer look. His eyebrows went up in surprise. "That's impossible," he muttered. Soon, the whole room was buzzing with excitement. Scientists crowded around Sarah's computer, all trying to see the strange data. "What does it mean?" someone asked. Dr. Johnson shook his head. "I'm not sure. But whatever it is, it's not natural. These signals, they look artificial." The room went quiet. Everyone knew what that meant. If the signals were artificial, they had to be made by someone. Someone not from Earth. "Are you saying?" Sarah's voice trailed off. She couldn't bring herself to say it. Dr. Johnson nodded slowly. "Yes, I think we've just found proof of alien life." The news spread quickly, first to the head of NASA, then to the president, and soon to leaders all over the world. Everyone was shocked and excited. But the excitement soon turned to worry, because the signals DSE-9 was picking up weren't just random noise. They were complex, organized. They looked like, "It's a war," Dr. Johnson said in a meeting with world leaders. "These signals, they're weapon fire. Communications between ships. We've stumbled onto an alien war." The room erupted in chaos. Leaders shouted questions and demands. Some wanted to hide the information. Others wanted to tell everyone. "Quiet," the president shouted. The room fell silent. "We need to think about this carefully. If there's a war out there, we need to be prepared." Meanwhile, regular people on Earth were starting to notice something was up. Amateur astronomers reported seeing strange lights in the sky. Internet forums buzzed with theories and blurry photos. In a small town in Kansas, a farmer named Joe was the first to see them clearly. He was out in his field late at night when the sky lit up. Joe watched in awe as two massive shapes appeared, surrounded by smaller ones. They moved fast, faster than any plane he'd ever seen. Lights flashed between them, like fireworks. Then, In a burst of light, one of the big shapes disappeared. Joe ran inside to tell his wife. She didn't believe him at first. But when they turned on the TV, they saw that Joe wasn't the only one who had seen something strange. All over the world, people were reporting similar sights. The sky was alive with lights and movement. It was beautiful, but also terrifying. Governments tried to explain it away. They said it was a meteor shower or military exercises. But people knew it was something more. Something big was happening. Back at NASA, Sarah and her team were working around the clock. They were trying to understand the alien signals, to figure out what was going on. "Look at this," Sarah said, pointing to a new set of data. "These signals, they're getting closer." Dr. Johnson frowned. "Closer to what?" Sarah looked up, her face pale. "Closer to us. To Earth." The realization hit everyone hard. The alien war wasn't just something happening far away in space. It was coming to Earth. World leaders met again, this time in an emergency session. They had to decide what to do. Should they try to contact the aliens? Should they prepare for war? Or should they try to hide and hope the aliens didn't notice Earth? As they debated, more and more people on Earth were seeing the signs of the alien war. News channels showed footage of strange lights and objects in the sky. Social media was full of theories and panic. In New York, people gathered in Times Square, looking up at the giant screens. In Tokyo, crowds filled the streets, pointing at the sky. In Rio de Janeiro, on the beach, people watched the strange new stars move across the night. The world was changing. Everyone could feel it. The old ideas about humanity's place in the universe were crumbling. We weren't alone, and we weren't safe. In orbit around Earth, astronauts on the International Space Station had the best view of all. They watched in amazement as huge ships appeared at the edge of their vision, then vanished again. "Houston," one astronaut radioed down, "You're not going to believe what we're seeing up here." But Houston and the rest of Earth were starting to believe. The evidence was impossible to ignore. Aliens were real, and they were at war. And now, Earth was caught in the middle. As night fell around the world, billions of people looked up at the sky. They saw flashes of light, moving stars, things that couldn't be explained. They knew that tomorrow, the world would be different. Nothing would ever be the same again. In her lab at NASA, Sarah watched the data pour in. She thought about all the sci-fi movies she'd seen, all the books she'd read about first contact with aliens. None of them had prepared her for this. "What do we do now?" she asked Dr. Johnson. He put a hand on her shoulder. "We do what humans have always done," he said. "We adapt, we learn, and we hope for the best." As they watched, a new, stronger signal appeared on their screens. It was aimed directly at Earth. The message was clear. Ready or not, humanity was about to meet its galactic neighbors. And they didn't seem to be in a friendly mood. Aliens notice Earth. On a big alien ship, Captain Zex of the Flibber Army was having a bad day. His ship was damaged. Many of his crew were hurt. They had been running from the Zorgans for days. "Captain," shouted his second-in-command, "we've entered a new star system. There's a planet nearby. It looks alive." Zex rushed to the view screen. He saw a blue and green planet with white clouds swirling over it. "Scan it," he ordered. The scan showed billions of life forms, cities, technology, but no spaceships, no big weapons. "It's perfect," Zex said. "We can hide here. The Zorgans won't find us." But as they got closer to Earth, something strange happened. Their ship's computers picked up a signal. It was weak, but clear. It was coming from Earth. "Impossible," Zex muttered. "They shouldn't have technology that can reach space." He ordered his crew to decode the signal. It was a message, a human message, sent by accident into deep space. The message said, "Hello from Earth. We are humans. We come in peace." Zex laughed. "Peace? There's no peace in the galaxy anymore." But then he had an idea. A dangerous, exciting idea. Send a message back, he told his crew. Tell these humans we need help. Tell them about the war. Meanwhile, on the Zorgan ship chasing Zex, Commander Crag was angry. He had lost the Flibbers again. Where are they? He yelled at his crew. Find them. One of his officers spoke up. Sir, we've detected a strange planet nearby. It's primitive, but there's a lot of life on it. Crag looked at the screen. He saw Earth. He saw the Flibber ship heading towards it. So that's their plan, he growled. They want to hide on that little planet. Crag thought for a moment. Then he smiled. It wasn't a nice smile. Prepare a landing party, he ordered. We're going to this Earth. If the Flibbers want it, we'll take it first. Back on Earth, things were crazy. The alien message had arrived. It was all over the news. In the White House, the president was meeting with her advisors. They were trying to decide what to do. We can't ignore them, said the Secretary of Defense. But we can't trust them either. It could be a trick. The president nodded. What about our military? Can we fight them if we have to? The room went quiet. Everyone knew the answer. Earth's weapons were no match for alien ships. Maybe we don't need to fight, said a young advisor. Maybe we can help them. Make friends. The president thought about it. It was risky. But what choice did they have? Okay, she said. Send a message back. Tell them we're willing to talk. All around the world, people waited and watched. In New York, crowds gathered in the streets, looking up at the sky. In Tokyo, scientists worked day and night, trying to learn more about the aliens. In Rio, people prayed in churches and temples. Everyone wondered, what would the aliens be like? What did they want? Were they friendly or dangerous? They didn't have to wait long to find out. High above Earth, Zex's ship appeared. It was huge, bigger than anything humans had ever built. It filled the sky, blocking out the sun. People screamed. Some ran. Others just stared, amazed. Then, a voice boomed from the ship. It spoke in perfect English, somehow translated from the alien language. People of Earth, it said, we come seeking help. Our galaxy is at war. We need a place to hide, to be safe. Will you help us? Before anyone could answer, another ship appeared. It was even bigger than the first. It was the Zorgan ship. A new voice spoke, harsh and angry. Humans, do not listen to the Flibber lies. They are criminals, running from justice. Help us capture them. Now Earth had two alien races asking for help. Two sides of a war they didn't understand. World leaders rushed to meet. The United Nations called an emergency session. Everyone was asking, what should we do? Some people wanted to help the Flibbers. They seemed friendlier. Others thought they should help the Zorgans, who looked stronger. Many were scared. They didn't want to get involved at all. In all this confusion, something amazing happened. Humans started to work together. Countries that had been enemies for years now talked and planned together. Everyone realized that facing aliens was bigger than any Earth problem. Scientists shared their knowledge. Soldiers from different countries trained together. Regular people helped each other, shared food and supplies. For the first time ever, Earth was truly united. The President of the United States spoke to the world on TV. We have a choice to make, she said. We can hide and hope the aliens leave us alone. Or we can be brave. We can show the galaxy what humans can do. She paused, then smiled. I say we show them. Let's help. Let's make a difference. Let's show these aliens what Earth is made of. People cheered. It was scary, but exciting too. Humans were about to step onto the galactic stage. Up in space, Zex and Crag watched all this. They were surprised. They had thought Earth would be an easy planet to use or conquer. But these humans were different. They were brave, smart, and they worked together in amazing ways. For the first time, both alien leaders had the same thought. Maybe coming to Earth wasn't such a good idea after all. But it was too late now. The aliens had noticed Earth. and Earth had noticed them back. The next chapter of galactic history was about to be written, and humans, to everyone's surprise, were going to play a big part in it. As night fell on Earth, people looked up at the alien ships in the sky. Tomorrow would bring challenges, dangers, and adventures. But for now, everyone shared the same feeling. The universe had just got a whole lot bigger, and humanity was ready to explore it. Humans joined the big fight. The day had come. Earth was ready to join the Galactic War. It wasn't an easy decision, but humans knew they had to do something. In a secret base under the Rocky Mountains, the best soldiers from all over the world gathered. They were there to become Earth's first space army. Colonel Sarah Chen looked at the soldiers in front of her. They came from America, Russia, China, India, and many other countries. All were top fighters, but none had ever fought aliens before. "Listen up," Sarah shouted. "You're here because you are the best Earth has. But out there," she pointed up, "we're the new kids. We have a lot to learn, and not much time to learn it." The soldiers looked nervous but excited. This was why they had joined the army, to protect Earth. They just never thought they'd be protecting it from alien invaders. Meanwhile, in a lab in Tokyo, Dr. Yuki Tanaka was working on a secret weapon. She hadn't slept in days, but she couldn't stop now. The fate of Earth might depend on her work. "Dr. Tanaka," her assistant called. "It's working. The alien metal is responding to the pulse." Yuki rushed over. On a table was a piece of metal from a crashed alien ship. Next to it was a device Yuki had built. The device was shooting invisible waves at the metal, making it change shape. Yuki smiled for the first time in weeks. "We did it," she said softly. "We can affect their technology. We have a chance." In New York, the United Nations was in an emergency session. Leaders from every country were there, trying to agree on a plan. "We can't trust either alien side," the German chancellor said. "They both just want to use Earth for their war." "But we have to pick a side," argued the Brazilian president. "If we don't, we'll be crushed between them." The debate went on for hours. Finally, the Secretary General stood up. "We don't have to join either side," he said. "We can be our own side. We can fight for Earth and for peace in the galaxy." The room was quiet for a moment. Then, one by one, the leaders started to nod. It was a crazy idea, but it just might work. Up in space, things were getting worse. The Flibber and Zorgon fleets were facing off near the moon. Earth was caught in the middle. On the Flibber ship, Captain Zex was worried. "We can't fight here," he told his crew. "We'll destroy the humans' planet. We need their help, remember." But the Zorgons didn't care about Earth. Commander Crag gave the order to attack. "Crush them all," he yelled. The space battle was like nothing humans had ever seen. Laser beams lit up the night sky. Explosions bloomed like deadly flowers among the stars. On Earth, everyone watched in fear and amazement. This was it, the moment everything changed. Then, something unexpected happened. A new ship appeared between the alien fleets. It was smaller than the alien ships, but it moved fast and smoothly. It was the CSS Humanity, Earth's first spaceship built with a mix of human and alien technology. Inside the ship, Colonel Chen sat in the captain's chair. Her crew, the best pilots and soldiers from Earth, worked at their stations. "This is Colonel Sarah Chen of Earth," she broadcast to both alien fleets. "We order you to stop this fight now. This is our home, and we won't let you destroy it." For a moment, everything was quiet. The aliens were shocked. They hadn't expected humans to have a ship like this. Then Commander Crag's angry voice came over the radio. "How dare you order us? We'll destroy you along with the Flibbers." The Zorgon ships turned towards the CSS Humanity. They were going to attack. But Sarah was ready. "Dr. Tanaka," she said into her comm, "now's the time. Fire the pulse." Back in her lab, Yuki pressed a button. The CSS Humanity lit up with energy. A wave of invisible force shot out from the ship. When it hit the Zorgan ships, something amazing happened. Their weapons stopped working. Their engines sputtered and died. The Flibber ships were affected too. Soon, both alien fleets were just floating in space, helpless. What did you do?" Captain Zex asked, his voice shaky. Sarah smiled. "Just a little trick we came up with. Now let's talk about peace." The space battle was over, but Earth's fight was just beginning. Now they had to convince the aliens to stop their war and listen to reason. It wasn't going to be easy, but humans were used to doing the impossible. In the days that followed, Earth became the center of galactic politics. Alien leaders from all over came to talk peace. They were impressed by how quickly humans had learned to use alien tech and how brave they had been. Many aliens started to think that maybe, just maybe, these humans could help solve the problems that had started the war in the first place. It wasn't all good news, of course. Some aliens still wanted to fight. Earth had to be ready to defend itself. But for the first time, there was hope for peace. As the CSS Humanity flew back to Earth, Sarah looked out at the stars. She thought about how, just a few weeks ago, humans thought they were alone in the universe. Now they were part of a galactic community. It was scary, but exciting too. "What do you think will happen next, Colonel?" one of her crew asked. Sarah smiled. "I don't know," she said, "but whatever it is, Earth will be ready. We've joined the big fight. Not just the war, but the fight for a better galaxy. And we're going to give it everything we've got." As Earth came into view, beautiful and blue, Sarah felt proud. Humans had taken their first steps into a larger world, and they had done it not with conquest, but with bravery, cleverness, and a desire for peace. The big fight wasn't over. But with humans involved, the galaxy would never be the same again. Humans change everything. It had been 6 months since Earth joined the Galactic War. In that short time, everything had changed. Humans were now known across the galaxy, and they were making waves. On the planet Zorg, Commander Crag paced in his war room. He was angry and confused. "How?" he shouted. "How are these humans beating us? They're so primitive." His advisors looked nervous. One spoke up, "Sir, it's not their technology. It's how they think. They come up with ideas we never imagined." Meanwhile, on the Flibber homeworld, Captain Zex was giving a report to the Flibber Council. "The humans are amazing," he said. "They turned our enemies into friends. They solved problems we've had for centuries." The council members looked at each other in surprise. One asked, "But how? What's their secret?" Zex smiled. "They don't have one secret. They have many. They call it thinking outside the box." Back on Earth, in a big meeting room in New York, human leaders were talking to alien ambassadors. The room was full of strange creatures from all over the galaxy. Dr. Emily Wong, Earth's top scientist, was explaining a new idea. "We call it the Peace Corps," she said. "We send teams to planets hurt by the war. We help them rebuild, not as enemies or allies, but as friends." The aliens whispered to each other. This was new. In their wars, the losers were usually left to suffer. But humans wanted to help everyone, even their former enemies. A tall blue alien stood up. "This is why we need humans," he said. "You see things differently. You care about everyone." In space, things were changing too. The CSS Humanity was no longer Earth's only ship. Now there was a whole fleet of human ships, working with friendly aliens to keep the peace. On the bridge of the CSS Hope, Captain Jake Martinez looked at his crew. There were humans, flibbers, and even some Zorgans who had switched sides. "All right, team," Jake said. "We've got a distress call from the planet Xelop. They're under attack by space pirates. Let's show them what humans and our friends can do." As they flew to Xelop, Jake thought about how strange his life had become. A year ago, he was a pilot on Earth, flying planes. Now he was captaining a spaceship, saving alien worlds. The battle at Celop was fierce. The pirates had big ships and strong weapons. But Jake's crew had something better: teamwork and crazy ideas. "Okay," Jake said to his alien science officer, a flibber named Zilks. "Remember that thing humans do called surfing? Let's try that, but with asteroids." Zilks looked confused but excited. "Surfing? With asteroids? Captain, that's insane. I love it." They used their ship's tractor beams to grab nearby asteroids. Then they rode them into the pirate fleet, smashing their ships. The pirates had never seen anything like it. They didn't know how to fight enemies who used space rocks as surfboards. Soon, they were running away. The people of Celot were amazed. They had expected a normal space battle. Instead, they got to see humans and aliens working together in ways no one had ever imagined. News of the battle spread fast. All over the galaxy, people were talking about the crazy, brave humans and their strange ideas. On Earth, in her lab, Dr. Yuki Tanaka was working on her next big invention. She had learned so much from alien technology, but she was adding a human touch to everything. "What if," she said to her team, "we combine the Zorgan energy shields with Earth's old radio technology? We could make communication devices that work anywhere in the galaxy." Her team looked excited. This was what working with Dr. Tanaka was like, always pushing the boundaries, always thinking of new combinations. In schools across Earth, kids were learning about their new place in the galaxy. They studied alien languages, drew pictures of strange planets, and dreamed of becoming space explorers. Sarah Chen, now General Chen, spoke to a class of teenagers. "When I was your age," she said, "we thought we were alone in the universe. Now we know we're part of a huge galactic family. It's up to us to be good family members." A young girl raised her hand. "But General Chen," she asked, "aren't you afraid? The aliens are so different, and some of them are still our enemies." Sarah smiled. "Being different isn't bad," she said. "It's what makes us special. And yes, we still have enemies, but we're turning more of them into friends every day. That's the human way." As Sarah left the school, she saw a group of alien tourists taking pictures. They waved at her excitedly. Humans were now celebrities in the galaxy. She waved back, thinking about how much had changed. Humans were the new kids in the galactic neighborhood, but they were changing everything. They brought new ideas to old problems. They made friends with aliens who had been enemies for thousands of years. They showed the galaxy that being different could be a strength, not a weakness. Yes, there were still challenges. Some aliens still didn't trust humans. The war wasn't completely over. But every day, things got a little better. As night fell, Sarah looked up at the stars. She knew that on countless planets, aliens were looking back at Earth, some with fear, some with hope, but all with a new respect for the little blue planet that had changed everything. Humans had joined the galactic community, and in doing so, they had started to heal it. The universe would never be the same again. And that was a good thing. Aliens think humans are amazing. On the planet Zircon, far from Earth, a group of aliens sat in a dark room. They were watching a screen, eyes wide with wonder. On the screen, a human was doing something incredible. "What is this called again?" asked Blor, a green blob-like alien. "Cooking," replied Scylla, a tall, skinny alien with 3 eyes. "Humans mix different things and use heat to make them taste good." The aliens watched as the human on screen mixed flour, eggs, and sugar, then put the mix in a hot oven. Later, the human took out a cake. "Amazing," Vlorp exclaimed. "They transform simple things into something new and delicious. We must learn this cooking." Across the galaxy, aliens were discovering new things about humans every day, and everything they learned made them more and more impressed. On the planet Gloop, alien scientists were studying human sports. They watched videos of soccer, basketball, and swimming. "Look at how they move," said Dr. Slob. the lead scientist. They use their bodies in so many different ways. And they do it for fun. The other scientists nodded in agreement. In their world, physical activity was only for necessary tasks. The idea of moving your body for enjoyment was new and exciting. Meanwhile, on a space station orbiting a distant star, alien artists were having a festival of human culture. They played human music, showed human movies, and tried to copy human paintings. Czar, a famous alien artist, stood in front of a copy of the Mona Lisa. "I don't understand it," he said, "but it makes me feel things I've never felt before." Human art is so emotional. The other aliens murmured in agreement. Many of them had never experienced emotions before meeting humans. Now, they were learning to feel happy, sad, excited, and more. Even former enemies of Earth were starting to change their minds about humans. On the Zorgan homeworld, Commander Cragg was giving a speech to his people. "I was wrong about humans," he admitted. "I thought they were weak. But they are strong in ways we never imagined. They are brave, creative, and kind. We can learn much from them." The Zorgans listened in shock. Their leader, who had once wanted to conquer Earth, was now praising humans. It was a big change. But perhaps the biggest fans of humans were the Flibbers. They had been the first aliens to ask Earth for help, and they had seen firsthand how amazing humans could be. On the Flibber homeworld, schools were teaching human studies classes. Young Flibbers learned about Earth's history, culture, and ideas. In one class, a Flibber teacher named Zip was explaining human philosophy. "Humans have this idea called freedom," Zip said. "They believe everyone should be able to make their own choices. It's why they're so creative and adaptable." The young Flibbers listened with fascination. The idea of making your own choices was new to them. In Flibber society, everyone usually did what they were told. As aliens learned more about humans, they started to visit Earth in large numbers. They came as tourists, students, and business people. They wanted to see the planet that had produced such an amazing species. In New York City, alien tourists took pictures of the tall buildings. They were amazed that humans could build such big things without advanced technology. "How do they do it?" asked one alien to his tour guide. The guide, a human named Tom, smiled. "We just keep trying until we figure it out. That's the human way." In Tokyo, alien students attended human universities. They studied human subjects like literature, history, and philosophy. They were particularly interested in human stories. "Humans can imagine things that don't exist," said an alien student named Vex. "They call it fiction. It's incredible. They make up entire worlds in their minds." Even in small towns, aliens were learning about humans. In a tiny village in India, aliens watched as humans celebrated a festival. There was music, dancing, and colorful decorations. "They do this just to be happy," an alien observer noted. "They create beauty and joy for no reason other than to enjoy it." How wonderful. But it wasn't just human culture that impressed the aliens. They were also amazed by human kindness and empathy. On a distant planet hit by a natural disaster, human aid workers were helping the local aliens rebuild. The aliens were surprised that humans would travel so far just to help strangers. "Why do you do this?" an alien asked Maria, one of the aid workers. Maria smiled. "Because it's the right thing to do. We're all part of the same galaxy. We should help each other." The alien was quiet for a moment, then said, "I think I understand now why everyone says humans are amazing." Back on Earth, in the United Nations building, alien ambassadors were meeting with human leaders. They were discussing the future of the galaxy. "We've made a decision," said the lead ambassador, a wise old alien named Zook. "We want Earth to join the Galactic Council. We need your ideas, your creativity, your compassion. You humans have changed the galaxy for the better." The human leaders were surprised and honored. Joining the Galactic Council was a big step. It meant Earth would help make decisions for the whole galaxy. "We accept," said the human president. We're excited to work with all of you to build a better future for everyone in the galaxy." As the meeting ended, Zook pulled aside Dr. Emily Wong, Earth's top scientist. "Do you know why we think humans are so amazing?" he asked. Emily shook her head. Zook smiled. "It's because you never stop trying to be better. You make mistakes, but you learn from them. You face problems, but you find solutions. You see differences, but you celebrate them. That's what makes humans truly amazing." As night fell on Earth, humans and aliens looked up at the stars together. The galaxy was a big place, full of wonders. But to the aliens, the most wonderful thing of all was right here on this small blue planet. Humans might be new to the galactic community, but they had already changed everything. And the aliens couldn't wait to see what amazing things humans would do next. Humans become space heroes. The big day had finally come. Earth was joining the Galactic Council. It was a huge honor. Only the most important planets got to be on the council. In New York, a special ship landed. It wasn't like any ship humans had seen before. It was round and shiny, with no wings. Out stepped Zook, the head of the Galactic Council. Zook looked like a tall blue tree with eyes. He smiled, or at least humans thought it was a smile, and waved to the crowd. "People of Earth," Zook said, his voice booming. "Today, you join the greatest group of planets in the galaxy. You have earned this." The crowd cheered. It was exciting. Humans were now big players in space politics. But being on the council wasn't just about politics. It meant humans could help even more in space. And boy, did they help. A few weeks later, on a planet called Gloop, there was big trouble. A volcano was about to explode. The Gloopians didn't know what to do. "Call the humans," someone shouted. "They'll know how to help." Soon, a team of human volcano experts arrived. They had special machines that could predict when the volcano would explode. "We have 6 hours," said Dr. Maria Chen, the lead scientist. "We need to evacuate the city." The Gloopians were scared. They had never left their homes before, but the humans were calm and kind. They helped everyone pack and get to safe places. Just as the last Gloopian left, the volcano exploded. Lava flowed down the mountain. But thanks to the humans, no one was hurt. "You saved us," the Gloopian leader said to Maria. "You humans are heroes." News of the rescue spread fast across the galaxy. Soon, other planets were asking for human help too. On the ice planet Phrygia, human engineers built special heaters to keep the aliens warm. On the water world of Aquarius, human divers taught the locals how to clean their oceans. Every time humans helped, they learned new things too. They discovered plants that could cure diseases. They saw animals that could change color. They even found new forms of energy. But it wasn't all easy. Sometimes, humans met aliens who didn't like them. On the planet Zorg, some aliens still thought humans were too new to space. They didn't want humans in their part of the galaxy. A group of human diplomats went to Zorg to talk. The lead diplomat was Jake Martinez, the former space captain. "We know we're new to space," Jake said to the Zorgans, "but we're quick learners, and we want to be friends. Give us a chance." The Zorgans weren't sure. Then, suddenly, an alarm sounded. A big asteroid was heading straight for Zorg. The Zorgans panicked. Their weapons couldn't destroy something so big. But Jake had an idea. "We can use our ship's tractor beam," he said. "We'll grab the asteroid and push it away from your planet." It was a crazy plan. The Zorgans thought it would never work. But they had no better ideas. Jake and his team flew their ship towards the asteroid. It was huge, bigger than they thought. The ship shook as they turned on the tractor beam. For a moment, nothing happened. Then, slowly, the asteroid started to move. Jake's team pushed with all their might. Sweat dripped down their faces. On Zorg, everyone watched the sky. The asteroid came close, closer, and then started to move away. The humans had done it. When Jake's team landed, the Zorgans cheered. They had changed their minds about humans. Now they saw that humans were brave and clever. "We were wrong about you," the Zorgan leader said. "You truly are heroes." As humans became more famous in space, they started to change how aliens thought about things. Before, many aliens believed you could only be good at one thing, but humans showed you could be good at lots of things. Humans were scientists and artists. They were fighters and peacemakers. They were serious and funny. Aliens learned that being different was okay. One day, a young alien named Blorp visited Earth. He was shy and felt different from other aliens. On Earth, he went to a human school for a day. In the class, the human teacher asked everyone to share something special about themselves. Blorp was nervous. He could make his body change colors. But he thought that was weird. But when Blorp showed his colors, the human kids cheered. They thought it was amazing. For the first time, Blorp felt proud of being different. "Humans taught me it's okay to be myself," Blorp said later. They're heroes not just because they save people, but because they help people believe in themselves. As years passed, humans spread across the stars. They built cities on other planets. They made friends with countless alien species. They explored places no one had ever seen before. But they never forgot their home. Earth became a symbol of hope in the galaxy. It was a place where anyone could come to learn, to grow, and to dream. One night, on a distant planet, a human named Sarah stood with her alien friend, Zix. They looked up at the stars. "You know," Zix said, "before we met humans, we thought we knew everything about space. But you showed us there's always more to learn, more adventures to have." Sarah smiled. "That's what being human is all about," she said. "We never stop exploring, never stop dreaming. And now we get to share that with the whole galaxy." As they watched, a shooting star streaked across the sky. In the old days, humans would have made a wish. But now, they knew that out there, beyond that star, was another world to explore, another friend to make, another chance to be heroes. The galaxy had changed humans, but humans had changed the galaxy too. And that adventure was just beginning.